Hi, welcome to Ride Free with George, a show where I, a regular cab driver, ask some of Kenya's influencers how they make money in their particular field of interest. Today we have a gentleman who's an actor, a producer, a director, a radio presenter, a script writer, copywriter, and you may recognize him from this commercial right here. Now, what you may not have known is that this lady is actually his wife. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Yafesi Musoke today. We have the privilege of interviewing him as we cruise around our beautiful city of Nairobi, asking him questions, more geared to financial questions in the creative industry. So welcome and join us. Thank you for tuning in. Cheese Pictures, employment for 5 years in the creative industry. How has your financial journey been, and what are the pros and cons of being employed versus running your own business?
Obviously, being employed, you can predict your income. Here, you can plan your life. Hey, when you're self-employed, especially in the creative industry, a lot of your time is spent convincing people to take your product seriously. They need it, but they are finding ways to degrade it so that they don't pay as much as you charge. Because in their minds, they're like, these are the things we used to do after class, or extracurricular, or drama festival. And the guys who tell you, you're doing a movie, you're doing a whole production, but someone is thinking, they're equating it to when they used to do drama festivals in Form 3. And so they're like, you guys just took the easy way out. So there are times you're perceived to be someone who failed in the corporate world, and that's why you're either self-employed or you're in the creative industry. But in terms of finances, I mean, we used to get even bonuses, we used to get all sorts of incentives. You do well at a pitch presentation, you're given something to buy, you just I can lose 5K, swung your way, just go buy yourself something nice as a reward. But when you're self-employed, hey, 5,000 might be what you get this month, or it might be what you get for 2 months. And then at the same time, you can also push up the ceiling. You're not restricted on how much you can earn. If you get things right, you get enough clients, you really work hard. So sometimes the effort translates into reward. So you can get a lot more money than you would get in employment, but also you can't just relax and celebrate and throw yourself a party, because now you don't know when the next time is you might get paid. So you have to be a lot more cautious, a lot more prudent when you're self-employed. And then you also discover some differences. Self-employed is different from being a business owner, which is different from being an entrepreneur. Because we found out entrepreneur is someone who can step away from the business. You can leave it running on its own for even a month or 3 months. Hey, if you step away and the business is closed, you're self-employed. You're self-employed. Yeah.
I do filming, and I'm also a writer. I've been self-employed, not an entrepreneur, self-employed for quite a few years, almost 10 years plus. My experiences in terms of getting paid have been quite dramatic, because some people, like even now, there's somebody who hasn't paid in almost a year. Have you had any similar challenges? Because I know a lot of people go through this, and you read it all over social media. I think artists are coming out and speaking out about how it's a challenge to get paid. Have you had any such instances?
They are ongoing even. There was a time I chased one check for 2 years. Not being paid for 6 months to a year, that one sometimes it's even common. You're like, you don't even get surprised by it. Yes. But the thing is, for some of us, we are kind of visible. We're not celebs. We're just visible. We have people who think once they see you on TV, you must be rich. Yes. And they don't know, along the way, there are people who are taking advantage of that. There are middlemen who tell the client one thing, then by the time the money gets to you, or the price that is quoted to you, it's way, 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 way below what was actually in the budget. And then you have the other side, things like emceeing and such gigs. Someone is basing what they are willing to pay you on how long they saw you on stage. They're like, aye, you were on stage for like a total of 1 hour or 2 hours. But to do that effective 2 hours, memorable 2 hours, where even the CEO was like, hey, that was good. It takes years of experience for you to be able to stand up there. And then guys don't realize that the world's biggest fear is the fear of public speaking. So here you have someone who will just go on stage just like that and take care of all that. But here you're like, aye, when it comes to money, because everyone loves your art, everyone loves your craft, everyone thinks you're doing an amazing job until it's time to pay you. Then there's an excuse. Like, aye, what's so hard about that? Would have asked Nani from procurement to do this. It's just that he was busy. So, like,
how do you go about such encounters where, okay, there's nothing much you can do about people paying you late, but what sort of things or stipulations did you put in place to ensure that clients honor their contracts?
Well, first of all, you present your terms from the beginning. If you need a deposit, you state those as your terms, and you have to be consistent. Because if now you look desperate, you're like, they've refused. Okay, uko na ngapi? Then now they're like, oh, you mean this one we can push him around? Then they'll push you around. But also, on your end, you be professional. You be on time. If there's a dress code, you adhere to the dress code, and you be excellent. You get on that stage, you be excellent. Even if at some point, that sometimes you don't agree at all, but because your pal is the one who recommended, and you're like, let me not let down my pal for this one. Let me just let this one slide. You be professional. You do an amazing job, so that there's nothing on their side that they can complain about. Yeah. So if you decide, okay, I'm never working with these ones again, that's fine. But they know you did your part. You're always excellent. You're always professional. You always deliver. So that's the one thing you work on. Be consistent on stage. Behind the scenes, if you disagree and all, you say, okay, I'm not taking this job, that's fine. But once you get on stage, once you agree to get on stage, you be excellent and you deliver.
In the instance that money is irregular, which is outside of regular monthly cash flow, what do you do? Have you diversified your business interests, or how do you go about just managing and moving along without any financial issues?
Well, there are projects that are for Cheese Pictures, and Cheese Pictures focuses mainly on TV productions. So if you're commissioned or you're licensed by either a media house or whichever financier for a specific project, then that's what you do. But also, I do other things like individual, like voice artist. So I still do radio commercials, voicing those. I do comedy, improv comedy with Because You Said So. So that's unscripted, unrehearsed comedy, and we do it every 2 months. So there are things like those. Sometimes I'm asked to be in a TV commercial. So once in a while you'll see me in a commercial. So those are on the side, but also you try as much as possible. Any money you get from that to help keep the business running, because there's low season, there's high season. In a year, like maybe during elections, they just decide, okay, we're stopping all programming to focus on elections, and you're like, hey, so how did that happen? And then also COVID can just shut down any sort of production. So there are other things also you might do online. So we do some online content with my wife. We even started a YouTube channel. And so you just try and do as many things as possible. But our main target is to try and uplift others. So any project we do is mainly for launching others, giving others a platform. So because that's what we focus on, because we know very few artists get the kind of opportunities to do the kind of projects that we do. And so that's what we are more focused on, to create that kind of space. If it's just a project, just appearing on TV, there are plenty of those. But it's the type of projects that we do, that we offer others.
a lot of people are starting out in the arts, the creative industry. Where would you say we are in terms of the arts, the creative industry in Kenya?
We're still trying to figure out what that is. It's a sector for now. It's not yet even an industry, because regulations are so diverse. As in, someone can come and say, an artist can say, I charge 100,000 for this. A guy looks at you like, and he goes and gets someone for 20K. And he's like, yeah. There is still also, the regulations are still not as clear to people. There was the whole debate about Cap 222. It's still ongoing and all. So it's still growing. Because even when artists talk about any regulations or updates to do with COVID, have artists been considered? And people start telling them, who do you think you are? Why are you guys feeling so entitled? Why can't you be like the rest? Everyone is struggling. And people are like, okay, yeah, but the artist challenges or the creative industry challenges are pretty unique. So if guys don't understand what the challenges are, they don't understand what the creative arts are actually about. It's kind of...
And a drop, mzee.
Yeah. And then you drop. Yeah. So a lot of times people just speak from an outside perspective. What they have in their heads is still drama fests or music fests, extracurricular. So, and yet, if say Beyonce landed in Kenya at the airport, you see how many ministers are going to fall over themselves to be there to receive her. It's a weird thing. We're all, artist celebrities are around. We had which celeb was in Kenya? The other, what? How come we didn't know and all that? But then, on the other side, we have so many guys. Back in the day, remember some of the older cast members from Vioja and Vitimbi, people were dying very poor. And so that was like, what? And we grew up with them. They defined a whole generation. These people helped us learn about laws and bylaws in Kenya. They helped people learn about cultures and things like that. And yet, they are just thrown aside because we've been given a certain perception of what a career is, or what should be considered excellent, or what is worthy to be paid for. And yet the things they do, because there's a saying, forgotten who it's by, people will forget what you say, and they'll even forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. And the arts, the things that arts make you feel, hey, it's unforgettable. It's people pouring themselves, they're pouring out their souls, pouring out our lives pretty much, to make you have unforgettable moments, to make you have memories, and to make you remember who you are, and even laugh at who you are sometimes. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Yafesi. Thank you for your time. We appreciate that. And the reason why it's called Ride Free with George, what we'll do now, you have the option of you getting a free ride with me, so I can come pick you up from wherever you are and drop you off to a different destination within Nairobi. Or you can pick somebody that you would like us to pick and drop off at their point of destination. Yes, sir. Right. Sawa sawa. Thank you very much. Nimeshukuru sana. Thank you for the insightful conversation, and I'm sure a lot of people in the creative industry who are going through challenges at least know that it's not something that's unique to them. It's something that all successful artists have to go through, and it's what molds them, I guess, to who they are today. For example, you know. Yeah, thank you for your time. We appreciate you, sir.
Thank you for the ride.
Yes, sir. Thank you.